heteropolysaccharide, yes, polymers of different monosaccharide unit or their derivatives, means monosaccharide units or their derivative. Monosaccharide unit means it may be glucose, galactose. Derivatives means glucuronic acid and uronic acid. Okay, glucose is derived into, or glucose may be converted into glucuronic acid and ioduronic acid, and you can easily recognize if I ask you this is glucuronic acid or ioduronic acid, you will say this is glucuronic acid, or uronic acid, this is ioduronic acid. Yes, if I say this is glucuronic acid, yes, this is ioduronic acid, this is glucuronic acid, so you can easily recognize. Okay, so a structure would be there and you will recognize. So I am discussing heteropolysaccharide in this different monosaccharide units and their derivatives join to make mucopolysaccharide, heteropolysaccharide, glycosaminoglycan. How many names? 3 names. Heteropolysaccharide include mucopolysaccharide, glycosaminoglycan. So mucopolysaccharide or glycosaminoglycan, very important for last 3 years. Every exam is asking 1 or 2 questions from this topic. Okay, mucopolysaccharide, glycosaminoglycan. Before going further, we found that in our body there are 6 compounds. Those are hyaluronic acid, keratin sulfate, heparin, heparan sulfate, chondroitin sulfate, dermatan sulfate. These compounds we found they are heteropolysaccharide or glycosaminoglycan or mucopolysaccharide. 3 names. We found that there are 6 compounds which are called heteropolysaccharides. When we saw their structure, all these 6 compounds were having a common pattern. All these were having 1 acidic sugar, 1 amino sugar. Acidic sugar means carboxylic group. You all know uronic acid is having carboxylic group. Yes, you all know uronic acid is having carboxylic group. Hydronic acid is also having carboxylic group. Carboxylic group is acidic group. So acidic group means acidic sugar. We found that all these 6 compounds have, when we saw their structure, they was having acidic sugar, means uronic acid or ioduronic acid. They were having second component amino sugar, just like glucosamine, amino sugar, amine, and acetyl glucosamine, amine. So amino sugar, acidic sugar. We found that all these are having acidic sugar, amino sugar, acidic sugar, amino sugar, acidic sugar, amino sugar. This is heteropolysaccharide, means different types of sugars, more than 1 type of sugars are multiple times polysaccharide, heteropolysaccharide. And we found that all mucopolysaccharides or glycosaminoglycan were having sulfate. S means sulfate. All were having sulfate. Yes, all were having sulfate. All were having sulfate. All mucopolysaccharide or glycosaminoglycan have sulfate except okay. Yes, this is really difficult, I can understand. Let me tell you. I am not going in a conventional way. I take a simple approach. Don't go in these structures. If you will remember the concept, you will never forget and you will be able to answer the questions of mucopolysaccharide in an easier way. We found that in our body there were 6 compounds. Those are chondroitin sulfate, dermatan sulfate, heparan sulfate, heparin, hyaluronic acid, yes, keratin sulfate. these 6 compounds have common pattern of structure, and we found that all these compounds absorb large amount of water. क्या कहा मैंने? All these compounds absorb large amount of water and they form mucoid structure. Gee, that mucoid structure. So that mucus-like structure. So all these form mucus-like structure. That's why first question, heteropolysaccharide absorb large amount of water and they form mucoid structure. This mucoid structure is slippery in nature. And when we saw the structure of all these mucopolysaccharides, we found that their structure was having one acidic sugar, one basic sugar, amino sugar. Means one acidic sugar was there, one amino sugar was there. Even if you don't remember what is acidic, what is basic sugar, forget it. I say 2 types of sugar was there. In one sugar, acidic group was there, just like uronic acid, hydronic acid. Other sugar, amino group was there. And we said that all these mucopolysaccharides were having sulfate. Were having which compound? Which component? Sulfate. So all mucopolysaccharide glycosaminoglycan have sulfate except hyaluronic acid. All mucopolysaccharides have uronic acid or hydronic acid, acidic sugar, except creatine sulfate. So for the time being, I write this at the same place because most of time you will find this single liner. Most of time you will find single liner. Yes, all mucopolysaccharide have sulfate except hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid, no sulfate. No sulfate. Creatine sulfate, no acid. Uronic or hydronic. Okay, clear? Anyways, even if I forget, so all mucopolysaccharides are having sulfate. Sulfate is having which charge? Negative charge. Acetate is having which charge? Acetate is having which charge? I have discussed. Acetate is having which charge? Please do reply. This is again I am saying difficult topic, mucopolysaccharides. They ask question about the structure. Yes, you must know. Acetate is having negative charge. Yes, so we can say that all these mucopolysaccharides are having negative charge. All these mucopolysaccharides are having which charge? Negative charge. Very good. So that's why nature distributed these glycosaminoglycan widely in our body wherever we want. Shock absorbing property means you know that between two bones there is a synovial fluid. When we jump, two bones are going to strike, and between these two bones synovial fluid is there. In synovial fluid glycosaminoglycan is there. Glycosaminoglycan is having negative charge. Two molecules having negative charge, when come close they repel each other. And we have read as the distance between two negative charge decreases, they repel, the force increases. So when you are jumping, these two bones want to strike, but synovial fluid is having Yes, glycosaminoglycan having negative charge, they repel each other. That's why these two bones never strike. And in old age, when cellular fluid is less, glycosaminoglycan is not there. Means these glycosaminoglycan will not repel each other. These bone will strike osteoarthritis. So wherever we want shock absorbing property, eyeball, we want shock absorbing property. At many places, we want shock absorbing property. All body part, they are widely distributed, and they are kept extracellularly. They are kept extracellularly to support our body. So glycosaminoglycan are widely distributed. They have shock absorbing property. They absorb large amount of water to make mucoid structure, and this is slippery. You must have experienced, na? Gee, I don't like this. Yes. Okay. But you must have seen few person doing like that. Yes. So, yes. So now again I repeat, mucopolysaccharide is having acidic sugar, means uronic, idiuronic, amino sugar, glucosamine or N-acetyl glucosamine. I don't say remember these structure. Even if you don't remember, it's okay, just have an idea. Yes, acidic sugar, amino sugar, acetic sugar, polysaccharide is there. Now they will give you structure, and yes, they will give you structure, and they will ask you recognize that which glycosaminoglycan is this. So you will remember a mnemonic. Yes, we have space. Yes, you remember mnemonic. First mnemonic, first means if a structure is given, mucopolysaccharide, 6 mucopolysaccharides are there, and if structure is given, how to recognize, you will follow the sequence. First sequence is, if a structure is given, you will immediately understand that they have given mucopolysaccharide glycosaminoglycan. They will give many times in the question, and they will ask which glycosaminoglycan is there. Is this? You will search for sulfate. Search for sulfate. Search for sulfate. If sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. What I said? Sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. Yes, I told you hyaluronic acid, no sulfate. So whenever question is asked on the recognition of structure, search for sulfate. Sulfate may be absent, most of time present. If absent, you will find the answer. Immediately mark the answer hyaluronic acid. If present, means you are left with how many? 5 glycosaminoglycan. If present, second thing, you will search for acid, uronic acid, hydronic acid. Again, 2 condition may be there. It may be absent or it may be present. Before moving further, let me show you. Let me show you. I gave you this structure. I said that whenever a structure is given, I don't know which structure is this. I saw sulfate. It can't be hyaluronic acid. Sulfate can't be hyaluronic acid. Sulfate can't be hyaluronic acid. No sulfate. Answer is hyaluronic acid. I have told you this is a single liner. All mucopolysaccharides are having sulfate except hyaluronic acid. In AIIMS, or all India last 20-year questions. If you scroll, you will find at least 6-7 times the same question, single liner. Hyaluronic acid don't have sulfate. This time in AIMS they ask the same question but in the form of picture. Yes, that they give this structure. In this structure no sulfate is there, no sulfate is there. Without second thought the answer is, repeat as many as of you can comment. It's not just to check your answer, you know, I know that you know the answer, but just to make you awake and make myself awake, okay? Because if there is no interaction, it's not face-to-face class, so we don't get feedback and sometimes we become bored, okay? This is the limitation of online. So just for interaction I want your reply, okay? So whenever question is asked, first thing you will search for sulfate. First thing you will search for sulfate. Yes, less answers, but anyways, yes. So answer is hyaluronic acid. Clear? Hyaluronic acid. So yes, search for sulfate. First thing, you will not find this mnemonic at any place because I worked a lot for this and then I found, okay? Yes, absent hyaluronic acid. If present, so it may be 5. Second thing, I will search for uronic acid. If uronic acid is absent, without second thought, I will mark keratin sulfate. Keratin sulfate. Keratin sulfate. I told you, yes, this is again single liner. All are all are having uronic acid except keratin sulfate. I usually remember mnemonic because many times we forget. Yes, yes, kirtan. Wherever you do kirtan, matak ke kirtan, you never make urinal uronic acid. So acid is not there, urinal is not there in kirtan place. Wherever you do kirtan, my gesture will help you to remember in your exam. Okay, yes. So keratin sulfate. Now if I give you a structure, this structure is given just like given in your handouts. They gave this structure. The first thing I will search for sulfate. Sulfate is not there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. Yes, acid is there, sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. Acid is there, it can't be keratin sulfate. Got there? Sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. Acid is there, it can't be keratin sulfate. Sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. Acid is not there. Acid is not there. Marked keratin sulfate. Okay, so these two. So again I repeat, simply you must remember the sequence also. First of all, you will search for sulfate. If you find no sulfate, without second thought, hyaluronic acid. If sulfate is there, then you will search for acidic group. If acidic group is not there, without second thought, mark the answer keratin sulfate. Clear? Yes. If both of these are present, then what you will do? Third step. You will check if both units are same, means glucose, no galactose, no galactose. Both units are same. Two same word. Tell me dear. Two same words. Heparin and heparin. Yes, heparin and heparin are two similar words. Yes, if you see the structure, is there any galactose? Is there any galactose? No galactose. Yes, it may be. If both units are same, no galactose, it may be heparin. Heparin or heparin sulfate. Okay, heparin or heparin sulfate. In for I for iduronic acid. If no galactose, both units are glucose and you find iduronic acid, heparin. If it is uronic acid, it is heparin sulfate. Now you can easily see. Look at the screen, you can easily see. Sorry. I know I am taking time little bit, but this is recently asked topic, I can't skip. Yes, I saw that this is glucosamine, hydronic acid, no galactose. Yes, no galactose. Inside means hydronic acid, heparin. I for in, I for hydronic acid, inside. Clear? Heparin. Clear? Both units are same, glucose is there, no galactose. Yes, in hydronic acid heparin, uronic acid heparin sulfate. Now if both units are, तो third step ये था. Fourth step, if both units are different, both units are different means dermatan sulfate and chondroitin sulfate. And you easily remember D for hydronic acid. Dermatan sulfate, hydronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, uronic acid. Means one unit would be galactose, one unit be galactose. So one unit would be galactose. So yes, chondroitin sulfate, one unit is galactosamine. Galactosamine, and uronic acid is there, chondroitin sulfate, and hydronic acid is there, dermatan sulfate, D for hydronic acid. Please do reply, have you understood this sequence? And I say, even if you don't remember this third and fourth, most of time 95, 99, I should say 100%. But yes, we never know about the examiner. Yes, but most of time they will ask question in these two. Okay, in these two. So in last moment when you are preparing, you are revising and you find that time is short, trust me, if you go most of time, these two would be sufficient. These two would be sufficient. Yes, because this is not absolute, because in many times heparin or heparin sulfate, there may be, yes, in place of hydronic acid, uronic acid would be there. Heparin, hydronic acid, uronic acid may be there in 30% of cases. So no need. Yes, I will. Okay. Yes. So what you will remember, structure is given recently 2019, or yes, recently 1 or 2 years back, they asked question in AIMS. That means they have asked few questions on structure. They alarmed us that in biochemistry we can't go without the structure. Either they will directly ask on the structure, or without, indirectly they have given this time ionicity 3 questions on the structure. Typical questions. Yes, so whenever a structure is given, first thing you will search sulfate. If sulfate is not there, without second thought, answer is hyaluronic acid. If yes, sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid. Second thing you will search for acid group, COOH. Second thing you will search for acidic group. Yes, if acidic group is not there, without second thought, creatine sulfate. If acidic group is there, sulfate is there, means if acidic group is there, sulfate is there, it can't be hyaluronic acid or creatine sulfate. Now you will search for glucose and galactose. If only glucose is there, no galactose. If no galactose, you will think of either heparin or heparin. No galactose means only glucose. Glucose means glucose same क्या है, heparin and heparin sulfate. Heparin and heparin sulfate same, so दोनों unit. Okay, both units are same means yes, both units are same. Let me show. Okay, look at the screen. I told you, yes, don't worry, I will take time. It's not a matter of time. I am going so slow that even if you remember in the class, you will remember it. It's very quite organized way. I have given these handouts in such a way that these are so organized that when you will revise, yes, I'm not saying myself, most of the toppers who got under 100 rank, yes, I can disclose the name also, Alex this time, yes, 92 rank INICT. He completely read from my notes only, both in INICT and in NEET, and got 92 rank in INICT and 122 rank in NEET. So, and he could revise, or you can revise these handouts very easily. I have avoided extra unnecessary things. I know that sometimes they can be asked, but sometimes. But what is the trend nowadays I am following, and I am giving you the relevant things. Okay? And most of the time you will find most of the questions from these handouts only. Okay? And I assure you 90% questions you will be able to solve. I don't promise 100%. Okay? But if you will apply your concept, you will be able to solve 100% questions. Yes. Now, look at the screen. This uronic acid is a derivative of glucose. Uronic acid is a derivative of glucose. Okay, so you can say in these heparin, that is glucosamine and derivative of glucose. Glucosamine, derivative of glucose. So both units are glucose derivative. In chondroitin sulfate and dermatan sulfate, one unit is galactose, one unit is glucose. One unit is galactose, one unit is glucose. If hydronic acid, D for dermatan sulfate. If glucuronic acid, then it is chondroitin sulfate. If IN heparin, hydronic acid. If heparin sulfate, glucuronic acid. Clear? Clear? Means both units are glucose, no galactose. Heparin or heparin sulfate, in for hydronic acid, I for hydronic acid. Both units are different. It may be galactose. One unit is galactose, dermatan sulfate and chondroitin sulfate. Clear? But in these, in many standard textbook, you will find that composition has given different from I have written in this. Why? Because if I say if I say that suppose this is dermatan sulfate, heparin sulfate, whatever it may be. Yes, in this if I say these units are, this acidic sugar is uronic, this is uronic, this is, yes, means this is, yes, uronic, uronic, yes, and this is hydronic. Okay, hydronic means many times heparin sulfate you will find there is glucuronic acid and glucosamine and glucuronidase. Suppose in heparin sulfate 100 molecules of glucosamine are there, 100 molecules of uronic acid is there, 70% glucuronic acid, 30% hydronic acid. Understood? Even if you don't understand, it's okay. Heparin sulfate, I said that in heparin sulfate 100 molecule of heparin sulfates are there. In this 70 molecules are glucuronic acid, 30 molecules are hydronic acid. So but most of time it would have glucuronic acid. Okay, yes. So this is about how to recognize the structure. Yes, so you can easily recognize. Now questions. Keratin sulfate, name itself tell you, keratoplasty, keratoconia means cornea. Recently asked question, single liner in IICT, that keratin sulfate, there is keratin sulfate, there is this, so keratin sulfate is present in lens, cornea is present in cornea, and transparency of cornea is maintained by keratin sulfate. Question was asked, transparency of cornea maintained by keratin sulfate. Hyaluronic acid is present in synovial fluid and vitreous humor. Vitreous humor. Yes, vitreous humor. Okay, so question was asked, hyaluronic acid and keratin sulfate. Yes, vitreous humor and cornea, they are found, so both are found in eye. Okay, heparin in for intracellular. You all know all mucopolysaccharide, heteropolysaccharide are extracellular except heparin, which is intracellular, found in mast cell. All are extracellular except heparin, which is found in mast cell. Heparin sulfate, chondroitin sulfate cartilage, dermatan sulfate skin. Heparin sulfate, question is asked, heparin sulfate attach lipoprotein lipase, I will discuss in detail, attach lipoprotein lipase at endothelium. Attach lipoprotein lipase at endothelium. Okay, so this is about, yes, heparin sulfate and dermatan sulfate. Heparin sulfate, clear. Okay, just definitely they can ask, yes, they can ask, no doubt, they can ask you that galactose, what is galactose, what is glucose, but yes, it becomes very difficult for, it would become really difficult for you that how to recognize glucose and galactose. But at C4, if OH is above the plane, then this is galactose. If OH is below the plane, then it is glucose. Yes, I can show you how can I show? Yes, let me try. Okay, yes, look at the screen. Yes, although it is unlikely they should not ask such a tough question, but even then, if I say this is C1, C2, C3, C4. At C4, oxygen means OH is above the plane. This is galactose. At C4, OH is above the plane, that is galactose. Even if you don't remember, it's okay, but your doubt I am going to solve. Okay, this is OH at C4, C1, C2, C3, C4. OH is below the plane. OH is below the plane, that is glucose. At carbon number 4, you know, glucose and galactose, the OH orientation is different at carbon number 4, and you count from this 1, 2, 3, 4. If at C4 OH is below the plane, this is glucose. OH is above the plane, this is galactose. Clear? Got the point? Sneha? Yes, you can recognize by the structure also, but they should not give such a difficult question. And when this question was asked, we were considering it a different question, but trust me, they didn't want you to remember each and every structure. They wanted that can you apply the previously asked question in figure form? Are you understanding the thing or just mugging up the thing that hyaluronic acid is not having sulfate? Okay?
Hi friends, so like, share and subscribe. If you have any doubt, comment below. Thank you.